kids. It's chilly. How's your willy? Good to know. Someone left a comment asking about, oh crap, hang on. What was it? Karma. And it wasn't, it was a response to one of my comments on a completely separate channel. But it made me start thinking a lot. And the comment was that karma is not a universal law. And here's why. It is a belief system. And because it is a widely shared belief system, and because our human Homo sapien species has a fixation with justice and people getting their just desserts and paying the price and learning, a lesson because you do something stupid, and then the very same or similar thing happens to you. So you learn the lesson so you don't do the stupid thing again. And if you don't learn the lesson the first time, holy shit, I think the law of squares applies because they just get worse and worse and worse. So pay attention. Anytime a catalyst or what you would call a negative situation occurs in your life, that is a test. That is a test. And if you don't pass it, you will keep getting the same test over and over again until you get it right. I promise you. So if you have recurring struggles along a similar theme, you ain't doing the catalyst correctly. Anytime something scary, bad, painful, whatever, negative happens to you, the very first thought in your head should be, number one, how did I cause this? And I'll explain that in a separate video. And then your second thought should be, how do I pass this catalyst successfully so I don't have to do this again? And it's really hard to do that when you are trained from birth to give nothing but emotional responses to everything. And everything is designed to elicit an emotional response. So you have to really... And in addition to all of that, Freddie, the secret frequency-based technology system that very few people know about or care to even understand. Freddie 100%, exaggerates that all of the time. Anything negative, he exaggerates, whether it's like a situation or an injury on your body. And I believe the fungal infection that all of us have, including you, yes, you just don't know you have it, that definitely has some kind of an impact on the portion of the brain that controls impulse. The impulse control sector of the human mind has largely been deteriorated, in my opinion. And there's some medical proof for that if you want to get into a huge old pile of academic bullshit in the form of papers that are peer reviewed. That means they're not true. That's what that really means. If it's peer reviewed, that is a guarantee that there may be some truth to it, but most of it is what my grandma used to say, gobbledygook. I love that word. She wouldn't cuss. Well, she cussed when she got mad. Really mad. But she would say, dag nabbit, gobbledygook. She would say, pooty tat for cat. Instead of saying pussy, she would say pooty tat or something like that. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent. It is very important to remember that your impulse control is always under attack. So you always have to be paying attention to it, especially when challenging things happen. Number two, you are the cause of that thing. I promise you this, and I will explain that when we get into how reality works 101. That video is taking forever because I have to write it out. Then it actually has to get peer reviewed by my peers, who I am not allowed to even be in the same room as. And I'm not joking. Like, I am not even allowed anywhere near there. And I'm like, not that low on the feeding chain. I'm not at the bottom. But no, there's nothing I could do aside from grovel to, be on even a colleague basis with some of my family group. And then I have to wait for them to review stuff. And they have so much crap because there are hundreds of thousands of us, hundreds of, probably millions actually, who are here trying to help y'all, okay? Like, they're all over the place. And how do you spot them? Because they are helpful. They're helpful. They're cooperative. They're helpful. And most of them are highly spiritual. And they all believe different things. Some of them are Christians. Some of them are even agnostics in their own weird way. Some of them are Jews. Some of them are Muslims. Some of them are Buddhists. Some are Hindi. It just depends on the individual. But anyway, your impulse control is always under attack. So anytime something challenging or negative happens, first of all, what did I do to cause this? And second, how do I pass this catalyst so I don't have to do this bullshit again? The good news is that I think you will enjoy the message in the video I am going to make as soon as I can. But going back to karma. Karma is indeed absolutely not a universal law. And karma is more of like an energy exchange, and it can be immediately neutralized through the act of forgiveness. It has to be genuine forgiveness, and that's very challenging when someone has screwed you over. But if you could see energy patterns, you would eventually be able to tell exactly when and where you caused that negative event to occur. I know it sounds horrifying because human beings seem to be allergic to accountability even after they know what's going on, which I find very strange. We have a fascination with being right or being the best or being the goodest or the most handsomest or the prettiest or the sexiest or the most retarded. That's me. I win. Trust me. It's strange. Because it's so much easier to just be like, you know what? If we are the authors of our own story, how would I not ultimately be responsible for every single act? Especially when you use the analogy of everyone walking around in the same arena with a VR headset on, experiencing similar things, yet they are literally all separate realities. They are unique and distinct to the individual. And to get you sort of prepped for the coming video, the best way I can explain how this place and every other place in existence actually works is that it is not a bipolar world, like negative and positive. Male and female is more accurate, but, the way that we collectively think, negative and positive, is relevant. It's a distortion of the truth, but it's relevant. Instead of everything being a linear process and, one life and then you go to heaven or hell forever or whatever, like No. You are living so many lives simultaneously, they are not countable because they are infinite. And they occur like offshoots on a plant. In fact, the pattern, if you could see it like cymatically, is very similar to a plant. Every you has access to each other's information. And every you would look in your face and swear to God that they are the real you. Meanwhile, you're thinking, no, that's impossible. I'm the real me. You're both correct, because the best way I can explain the universe is this. Universe is not a good word for it. My family group calls it the Feldraum, which means field sphere in German. And in order to recognize what I'm about to say, you have to recognize the reality of the Feldraum, or field sphere. And it is a single unified source, and acting in the capacity of singular size is infinite, unending, with absolutely zero null levels. They are separated by their energy conditions, and it's very similar to how a properly faceted gemstone or piece of quartz can take what you see around you and break it all down into a rainbow on your wall. The rainbow on the wall is the reality of your actual reality in the Feldraum, or field sphere. Whereas the image projected here is the game. It's a very simple optical and oscillation-based illusion. Everything is a frequency, and if you start to take every sense, as in sensory, every trait, every heart of quality that comes with being a human being, and separate those into categories, the way you would access those categories if you were a separate entity, say, or your own entity, is to mentally imagine your post-plasma body, your invisible body, or your energy body, whatever you would like to call it. I'll get into that later. And you go into the field sphere using this body. You retrieve the data from, let's say, the violet section of the spectrum of the rainbow, even though in that world there are colors that don't exist in the game. You'll see. And you retrieve that data, and then you know it. Consciousness is an energy information matrix, and in the game you are flesh, blood, teeth, hair. It may as well be real because it counts. Don't fall for the simulation theory bullshit, because that's not what this is. It's not a video game. It's not an alien technological experiment or whatever. We were not seeded by aliens. Anything presented to you by external sources that has anything to do with supernatural or paranormal is bullshit. It's fake. It may be based on real things. They do that all of the time because they have to. Should I say we have to? I don't know. I don't think I'm quite at that level. But they can, everything around you is layers, 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 layers. Like a 3D, we are essentially 3D printed when we are shaped in utero. That is how matter is created, from the inside out, from consciousness to the material. And remember, one material makes all materia. And that material is something that I prefer to call light. And what powers it is love. Yes, I'm a cheesy bitch. I mean, tranny bitch. And that's okay. So, rewind. The reason why karma is actually a fully valid operational dynamic on Earth or in Earth, which is not where you are. We should call her Terra, in my opinion. Oh, fuck, I forgot what I was saying. I think Freddie does that. I don't know. Yeah, because we all believe in it. Because it's like programmed into our brains. And it's really hard. Like, try not thinking about karma for a little bit. Just try it. Like, every time you get pissed off at someone and you start plotting, you know, how can I troll them? That's what I do. Like, I troll people. That's bad karma. But it's fucking worth it, in my opinion. Because it's legal. If you do it right. That is not, what's the word? I'm not encouraging bad behavior, YouTube, okay? I'm just a transgendered grandmother. And I'm very, very cold. My hands are freezing, YouTube. Leave me alone. Since most religions are sort of based on the concept of treat others as you wish to be treated, which is a very karma-ish principle, I believe that on Earth, it is a valid system. However, once you're out of the game, that no longer applies. That is not a thing. And that also gets into the bullshit about like, you got to come back here. That doesn't sound very Free Willy to me. Free Willy! Okay, thank you for listening. Sorry it's chaotic. That's just how I am. Okay, bye-bye. I love you.